Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Iron and Ceramic podcast. This week it's just me, John, and Shane. Hello, Shane.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. Yeah, like as I said, a quite quiet week for hobbying myself. I maybe picked up a pot of paint once or twice this week, but no games or anything like that for me. So it was more keeping an eye on the previews and other things that were potentially going on.
Yeah, nice. So, what have you been painting then?
So I've been painting the Nightbringer actually. I don't think is he going to come up on
Uh,
screen. So there he is. So he's based, but you can see there because it's a black and it's Necron.
yeah,
I've then got to rebase the bits that I want in a slightly lighter color. So
yeah,
all of the like electric energy bits and the scarabs at the bottom, they're all getting based in a what do I use? So I'm using the Army Painter paint range at the minute. So that's all brain matter beige. Um,
nice.
yeah, it's the same. It's the same color as it's the equivalent of whatever the same sort of off-white spray is that the Citadel or now Warhammer paints.
Mm.
Um, gets you to spray if you're painting contrast paints.
Okay.
So it's a good base for that because then it allows the color to be translucent. And because my scarabs and the energy stuff, I typically will either use Griff Charger Grey for the Necrons themselves, so it's good to go over a really light base, and then Tesseract Glow for the energy, which
Yeah.
is, as you've seen, is how I get that kind of effect on the Void Dragon. Um, so that's how far that's got. We'll
Right.
see, because I was like, I'll do what I did with the last Nightbringer and prime in black, because most of them will be black anyway. But where I've been slapping on this white paint, it's now like sprayed speckles all over the black anyway. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna I'm gonna have to go over the black regardless, just to tidy it up.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Importantly though,
Mm.
once he's done,
Yes.
we're back to the wolf time.
We think.
Yeah. Back on. We're back on.
Yeah. I mean,
So
yeah. So March is nearly over. Winter was a write-off.
yeah, yeah.
Spring of the Wolf.
Exactly that. Like with weather-wise here in the UK, we've done false spring. We're now in spring of deception. We'll get some really bad weather, and then we'll get true spring, and that's when I'll be back on for the
Nice.
Space Wolves. So that's where.
Nice.
So that's my very very weak hobbying at the moment for this week. You, on the other hand, you've had a bit more of an active week, or at least today, right?
Well, yeah, it wasn't a very active. It was active today. And I tell you what, I know I said I'm going to play Champions of Contagion until I get the final ingredient.
Yep.
I don't want the bloody ingredient anymore.
No, it still didn't get it today.
I can't play it. Well, Joe, I can't play this attachment anymore. Uh, I don't know. I don't think I'm doing it right. I might have to just completely redo it. But basically, yeah. So I played Dave's oldest today. He bought his orcs
Yeah.
round, and
Yeah.
he did.
What's his? Yeah, I was going to say very quickly before. What's his list look like? Because I saw a couple of images you put up
I
on the
have
on
it
the group, and
here,
he's
so let me tell you.
he's got Gazcol, right? Like
Yes, it's
Gazcol's
got
running
get
it,
school. Um, so his list was so he's bully boys, so they get the second war,
right? Double wires,
which
yeah,
was yeah awful. So uh, big mech with shock attack gun,
yep, I know, yep,
Nazgul
very good,
Fracker,
yeah,
Mozrog Scragbad. So
yeah.
he is
He's
riding
the
on a big squig.
he's the big squig boss, isn't he?
That was cool. He had a pain boy, he had a war boss, and he had a war boss in mega armor.
Okay.
So then he had a battle wagon, and that's what Gazgul rode around in with his crew.
How
And then
many
there was
was he leading? Was it 20 boys or was it
no, he would have been leading the Mega Knobs.
six of them?
Three Mega Knobs he led.
Three. Okay, three of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
And then it also had a squad of 10 knobs. I want to say it was 10 knobs. No, it would have been boys, something like that. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah.
10 knobs in there as well. So it was a very full battle wagon. Then he had a Death Dread, some Flash Gits, his Gretchen, some looters, another squad of mega knobs. I think they were the ones that were in Deep Strike because he stuck a enhancement on something.
Right.
And then he had some knobs and squig hog boys
Yeah.
and some tank busters and some war bikers.
So
So
a real
pretty
varied
broad.
list.
Yeah, and it was I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically the second war only affects certain things.
Yeah, it's a smaller number, isn't
But
it? It's like
he
it's a mini
ran,
war.
yeah, but everything that he ran was just like in armor, and most of it benefited. So it was awful because like I'll just get to the end of it basically. So the end score was 52-90 to
Yeah.
him. We did purge the foe, so he knocked me about the entire game.
Yeah, because
um,
Purge is a really good one for the Orcs, right?
yeah, absolutely, and it's annoying. You sometimes like I'll pick out the cards that suit me best, and then I won't say I was like no, I did it properly. Put randomize, and then it come up, and I went, oh, for God's sake, I should just change it, but
Yeah.
um, so what was it? So yeah, I mean, it was fine. Like, and we did it on the basic layout. So two playing long
Yeah.
way. I can't remember what it's called. Hammer and Anvil. I did.
Yeah. I think something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got to deploy first. I got first turn, and it just honestly, I thought it was going all right. First turn was bad luck. Marks for death and assassinate. Getting your first secondaries, no
Yeah.
good. But then he got storm hostile, so it wasn't too bad. Second round, brilliant. Got some good. I had enough points to score some on the primary. Aerial denial, overwhelm force, wonderful. Then turn two, Warg, all over me. But I was like, cool. End of that round, I've managed to hold him off. Like I've got a
Yeah.
lot on the board. I've still got two drones and some Death Shroud to drop in because Gazgul.
Fine.
The worst thing that happened that round was Gazgul got into my Death Shroud and killed them all, and I just
Right.
left one of the lords on 3 wounds. So that was upsetting. So then I dropped in the next Death Shroud, who went into Gazgul, who killed them all.
Really?
Yeah. He's fought because this is the thing. It's like so I managed to kill the Mega Knobs. I killed Makari, but I had to
Right.
switch with the Lord because I
Yeah.
thought because Makari gets a 2-up save, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah.
And I was like, if I roll 5 big attacks, there's a good chance I could spill over and kill Gats. But if he saves all of these, like it's
Yeah.
just awful. So I swept and managed to just do enough to kill him. But then when Gaz punched back, he punched back with a vengeance. So
Right.
that was sad. And then turn 3, second Wog, and I just didn't have enough. Like I committed my big blob of Plague Marines to the center, and I think it's my fault. I misdeployed them because when I stepped them out to shoot, his battle wagon was in the way, and my blight haulers didn't do the job. Like bounced off of it, so didn't do anything. I think I did 6 wounds to the bloody thing.
Right.
So I couldn't get in my head. My Marines didn't get to step out and then point and delete anything.
Yeah.
So they stepped out, pointed at the truck, which is toughness 12, and did 1 wound. And I was like, okay, that's bad. So then I got wild to get a second time, absolutely minced me. And then turn 4, I didn't do anything. And turn 5, he tabled me.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
honestly.
like really, really successful from his point of view then.
Yeah, he got into my because the last thing I pulled was cleanse and defend stronghold, and all I had left at that point was 10 poxwalkers, one
Yeah.
poxwalker, and a tallyman on my home objective. And he got in there, and the knobs, like, they're horrible. They're AP2, 2 damage each.
Yeah.
And then he had enough CP, and he was just like, yep, I'm rerolling all of this and rerolling all of that.
Right.
And absolutely cleared me off. So I didn't even defend strongholds. So there was only a couple of things. Like it was only because he scored like recover assets. He lost. He didn't get tempting target first round.
Yeah.
he only scored mini mark for death and he didn't score cleanse. So otherwise, he had a near perfect game.
Near perfect game.
And I was just like, it was funny that like we both had a few turns of glory like early on. My spawn lasted really well because he was putting like damage-free weapons into it where he should have killed him. And I managed to spike a ridiculous amount of feel no pains.
Yeah.
But then and then he just got him again. Otherwise, it was just we were just rolling dice, but I couldn't kill anything quick enough, and then he was all over me. And once you start running out, and the orcs are very swingy to hit. When they're all wearing armor, they're hard to get rid of.
Yeah.
And he had a 5-up feel no pain for both wargs as well, so that helps him hang around. It's just
Just
awful.
helps stick around, yeah. And like if I suppose more than anything with your lists, if the Death Shroud bounce and then die,
Yeah,
that's a really big piece of utility gone for the Death Guard because
yeah,
that's where you really do the business, right?
yeah. I had to because the way it was, I was like, oh, there's enough fighting over the middle. Held the right hand, but then
Yeah.
if I didn't kill Gaz, he would easily take the left hand objective off me. So I was like, well, I've got to commit my Death Shroud here, but they didn't kill him quick enough. So then anything else he had, like the Zapper boys, whatever they were just stepped out and melted anything else that was left. And
To
then he
do,
got
yeah.
really lucky as well. Well, he got lucky. He was played really well. He killed both of my Lords of Contagion in the same fight phase.
So then only one of them can stand up.
Only one of them
Yeah.
could stand up, who then stood back up and got melted immediately.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
But it was fine. And it's just like, I was just standing there while he's like, I'm in an hour and about where he's going to put stuff. But I was like, you've won. Just shoot
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It's over. I
I'm
can't take
already
it anymore.
I'm already dead.
I've got nothing left.
Oh dear.
Oh, it was good. Like, and he's clearly been practicing it, like making his lists and stuff as well, because it was untouchable. And like I was so used to playing the way I play, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it should be all right. I've played him a couple of times and I've beat him, and I think he's obviously come prepared today.
Yeah.
He was like, no,
I'm
have
gonna
this
be
old man.
properly drilled
Yeah,
to make it a proper game.
yeah, but it was good.
Yeah.
It was fine. It's just it's another. I think I'm on number 6 for my losses now in a
I
row.
was gonna say you're on a real mean streak in terms
Yeah.
of the opposite of what you want from a streak.
Yeah, and that's what I say. I know that I said I'm going to play Champions of Contagion until I get the final ingredient, but I ain't hungry anymore. So
Yeah.
I am ditching that, and I'm going to try something else for our
Okay.
game that we've got
So
coming up.
so I think we'll come on to that very very quickly. So
Yeah.
before that then, segue. So because you're dabbling with the idea of orcs.
Yes.
So as this, I suppose, although you lost, has this helped solidify that? Are you like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, I think because Orcs are it's a fun army to play, isn't it?
yeah,
So when I watch it, so a lot of stuff hits on 4s. So I think you got to accept you're going to miss a lot.
yeah,
But you get quite a decent number of shots with a lot of stuff. If you play obviously the right strats, and you've got the units, like you can do. I mean, obviously, I've just lost to a 13-year-old, so you can do really well with it. But there's some cool stuff. Yeah, I definitely think we'll see what all the previews give us.
yeah,
And I think that is going to be what I do for this edition.
yeah. Orcs are
Pretty,
very, as you said, very pure faction in
yeah.
terms of is that it's like, the dice will tell a story depending on what orcs show up.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Well, one of the best weapons, yeah, is the bubble chucker gun,
yep,
and it's like
random bubbles.
you just roll to find out what you're shooting, uh, and then it's like, oh well, I wanted to go into this, but I've rolled a 1, so I've got to go into that sort of thing.
Yeah,
So that's quite fun. Although it weren't fun today because somehow he managed to get what he wanted every time. But then there's obviously like their vehicles. I really like all their vehicles. They're quite fun. I like the idea of having a fast army
yeah,
because that is obviously a very fast army. Yeah, it's just something different. So
Yeah,
we'll give
no,
it a go.
absolutely. And as on that, it's a very good point. Takes us on to what we think we might see from an orc point of view in the preview coming up, because Adepticon preview, it's the 26th, I want to say, the
Yeah, I think
20
it's 25th, but obviously for us it'll be
one in the
1 in
morning
the
on the,
morning. So we'll
yeah.
watch it.
Um,
We'll go to work.
yeah, and expectation. So obviously, what have Games Workshop been doing? So they dropped the teaser for the preview with the dude on the bike.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's been, a number of videos from various different content creators digging into a lot of the bits and pieces in there, a lot of the hints that they think could be pointing towards what's coming. Notably, like a lot of the patches on the biker jacket.
Yeah.
Some are blood angels, some are very clearly orc. Don't have the sort of evil sons, because evil sons are the orcs that go faster, and the ones the red ones go faster. If I remember correctly, although
Yeah.
my orc lore is pretty rusty these days. Um, so they had them like that. That there are a lot of patches in that regard, and then obviously they were using. I can't remember what the name of the paint is. Various people have zoomed in, and like one of them's
Oh,
like
Evil Sun's red
as
it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Evil Sun's red, Wazdaka red as well,
Yeah.
which is obviously all very orky. And then there was the snippet of lore where they talk about, because obviously then alongside that we got the drop of Yarrick.
Yes.
So from dying off screen at the end of ninth, which everyone was up in arms about. And I think most people like they're not going to leave Yarrick dead.
No.
Like that would be a real surprise. And funnily enough, they haven't. He's back. It took an addition. Um, some of this stuff they must have planned well in advance.
Mm.
But he's back, and the lore snippet is like from an orc's perspective, who says like he saw like sees the old man go down. The old man in this case referring to Yarrick, which is what one of the names the orcs refer to him as. There's another one as well with the old red eye, I think it
Oh,
is, but
Baylor.
a Baelite, that's it.
Yeah.
So they're saying he went down, and then the space wolves show up and use some All Father magic to put him back together again. So that's the hint that it's space wolves are involved because they're on
Mm.
Armageddon as well. Um, a lot of the theory is that that's going to be potentially Ulrich the Slayer, because he's a wolf priest. Wolf priests are the ones in the space wolves who do all the healing, and he still has, although he's got a pretty good model, it's still an old model, and he would be someone that's out of would given all of the other launches for the space wolves this edition, it might be a good model for them to look at. So potentially Ulrich, um, which will be interesting. Um, Random ones like obviously Bjorn. Like, could that happen?
Yeah.
That's not in this piece of lore. So that this is more pointing towards the Ulrich side of things, and probably more to do with the last book in the whatever they I can't remember what they call in this end of season event at the moment.
Ugh, I don't know if I'm honest with
No,
you.
I can't remember.
I
Can't
have such a terrible memory for this sort of thing.
I can't remember. Anyway, that was that piece of, and then that was on this piece of lore. Yarrick then comes back into the battle and takes down an orc war boss who himself had taken down a titan or something like that, and was obviously a some sort of war boss that was riding some sort of mechanized vehicle of some description.
Mm.
So war boss on trike or whatever else is what it's looking like. So it's there's some interesting stuff that could be coming from that side at where we are now. I don't know what else they're potentially looking at. Obviously, beyond that snippet of lore, it's widely talked that there's blood angels because
Yeah.
again, the patches on the bike. a lot of Blood Angels related stuff. Auspex tactics. I think he put out a video today that potentially it's could be a sanguine priest or brother Corbio,
Yeah.
one of those Blood Angel thingies. And then, as Glenn said in was it maybe 2 weeks ago, or the last time Glenn was on, we were talking about what we think is coming, and obviously second edition, it was the Orcs versus the Space Marines. In that one, it was painted as because they could be painted as anything, but they were Goth Orcs, which is obviously Gazgul's tribe, who's also on Armageddon.
Mm.
And it obviously has this big rivalry with Yarrick, so that ties together nicely. And it was so it was Goths versus Blood Angels, or Space Marines painted up as Blood Angels. So you had 20 Marines in that box, and they were the two tactical squads effectively. And then you had 20 Goth boys and 20 Gretchen, I want to say, and then a cardboard cutout of a Dread, which is that was what the starter edition was like back then for second edition. So it'll be interesting to see if as Glenn surmised, they might be looking to redo that. But it'd be interesting this time round what stuff you'd see in the box.
Mm. It's going to be interesting to see how much they actually say. I should have looked at it earlier because I thought about it and forgot. I can't remember exactly how much we got when they announced 10th edition. Like, did they just go, here's the box, here's everything, or was it leaked over?
No, they didn't give us, if I remember correctly, the thing they did first was the cinematic.
Yeah.
So I think that this will be a combination of stuff, right? I think it will be stuff that they're previewing and launching for the end of edition campaign. So the stuff that's running on now, the end of edition stuff, because Yarrick's out for that, right? So
Yeah.
Yarrick isn't released for 11th. He's released for this, I think, for this end of edition stuff. So in whatever the next book is, which I think will be the final book, you're going to have Yarrick, you're going to have some Orc stuff. I think everything else then, like the other teasers, and you might get Ulrich, for example,
Yeah.
because that would fit into the Space Wolf relaunch in 10th, rather than anything for 11th. Then, so I think the stuff we'll get will be more stuff around the end of edition campaign that they're running right now, like they did with the Arcs of Omen last edition,
Yeah.
because the Lion came out in that. He came, and so did Vashdor, and all of that was all about that thingy. Nothing was really mentioned about 10th edition other than the cinematic.
Right. Okay.
And then the cinematic came out, and you had the lieutenant, combi lieutenant guy with his knife
Yeah.
fighting whatever tyrannid it was. You had the ballistas firing its guns at something. You had
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
and yeah, it was a really really and that obviously everything in that cinematic ended up being in the box.
Yeah.
Both like Tyrannid and Space Marine. So you're like, this is cool. Like this is very cool stuff. And everyone then started guessing what the units were. No one knew at that point that you were going to get like Flame Marines,
Mm.
like or like a squad of Flame Marines. Because you always used to have Flamers, but this is the first time where they were like, yeah, we're actually going to have like you get 5 Infernus Marines. And you're like, okay, fair enough. So that's what I think will probably happen. I think it will be something along those lines. I'll be interested to see if they do have a cinematic, what it's going to look like and what it's going to potentially tease, because
Mm.
that will be where you'll find like the potential new units and stuff that could be dropping. The Space Marine stuff, if they do go and make it Blood Angel flavor, all of the stuff in there will be generic Marines though, so you won't necessarily get like I don't think you'd get like I don't know the whatever the Sanguine Guard or whatever Sanguinary Guard, the ones with the wings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think they'll give you they might give you like jump pack intercessors painted red for the artwork,
Yeah.
but ultimately any Space Marines player could get it and be like, yeah, I'll just paint them blue or
Yeah.
yellow or
Make them
grey
fit.
or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, whatever it happens to be.
Hmm.
So I think that is probably the way they'll go with it. But that's I don't know. I don't know whether I'll be right on that. That's the vibe I'm going with. So that's what I think we'll see. I don't know
Yeah.
whether there'll be anything else. I don't know what if you've got any.
Not really, because like I said, I meant to sit down earlier and try and find a few things from last year because I just can't remember it. So much has happened in 3 years. I can't remember how it all
Yeah,
started last time. So, and I was wondering, like, because obviously ramping up to the end of the edition on Armageddon. So there's obviously
so
going to be a fair bit of Orc and, by the sound of it, Blood Angels, and then they've been talking about the is it the Iron Legion that are there as well?
it's the Steel Legion,
Steel Legion, yeah.
Steel Legion,
So,
because that the what they're because right now. So this is yeah. So I'm just looking now at the ones for. So you had the 500 welds,
mm,
which was the Titus stuff.
yeah,
Then we've got Eye of Terror, which is what they've were just talking about. So that was when was that? That was the start of the month. So that's all around the Acadian Gate and the Iron Warriors and all of the stuff that's been launched for that, including all of the new battle boxes, of course. Um, and then obviously Peter Turbo, or Perturabo, should we say?
mm,
So we'll see what happens there. So that's the Eye of Terror, and then I don't know. As I said, the next one is the white is where it's probably going to be, or we're thinking it's going to be about Armageddon.
yeah,
Um, yes, and the Steel Legion. There was a bit of I say controversy. I'm not obviously huge guard lore person. It's just it's the guard is the guard.
yeah,
But when you say about the Steel Legion, because it's Steel Legion is the core of the guard that's known on Armageddon, right? And it was a fairly popular faction or mini faction, I suppose, sub faction. Sub faction is probably the right term.
yeah.
And there was a thing, and I just remember because someone brought it up. Like again, one of the many content creators that I tend to follow on YouTube brought it up because there's I think it was a painting guide, and I can't find it now, where they were talking about how you can paint up the Death Core of Krieg as Steel Legion.
Oh,
And
okay.
obviously in the animation where you've got the return of Yarick, a lot of the guard in that are definitely look more like Death Core because they got the gas masks and all that sort of stuff. And they look more like that than the original Steel Legion. And so I think that's the vibe is that like a lot of things like they've done with the Space Marines is they've kind of gone all of the models are going to be the same. You just paint them in the color that you want them to be painted.
Yeah,
Like we're not going to have like loads of same with the Catachans, right? They haven't redone Catachans in years and years and years because they don't necessarily want to run loads and loads of different ranges. Now, it might
yeah,
be slightly different for Catachan, but we'll see. But it's certainly the case with a lot of the non-codex compliant chapters is that the unique units gets streamlined each time. So you get more and more stuff, or not more and more stuff, but stuff goes to legends, that's
yeah.
fine. Um, and it becomes a bit more streamlined in terms of what you can get. So you might get less characters, you get more troops that are much more closer to everyone else's troops, and they're kind of I don't know, slimming it down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Painting Death Core in Steel Legion colors. So I think that's the vibe is that you're probably not going to get Steel Legion specific models anymore. You're just going to get here's the Death Core of Krieg, paint them like Steel Legion.
Right, okay.
Which again, I think if you were a big Steel Legion like guard player might feel it might be a bit feels bad. If you're not, I don't know how much people worry about it.
No, so same as you. Don't know enough about it to
No,
have that opinion.
yeah.
Mm.
So, well, yeah, like by all means, if anyone is watching or watches it back later and wants to comment, do let us know. But yeah, that's the vibe anyway. So again, that's where I think we'll. So I think there'll be a mix of end of edition campaign stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it will be cinematic for 11th. That's
Okay,
what I think we'll get.
cool.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Could be very off.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? We're so close yet so far from getting an answer. So we're just the same as everybody else. Same speculation, watching the same videos, and
Indeed.
mm,
I think it's definitely boiled off the idea that there'd be a Primarch though. So
yeah,
there was a lot like, 6 months ago, even 3 months ago, whatever, everyone was like, oh, well, they did the Lion for the last edition.
mm,
We could see another Primarch. I now don't think like I was definitely going along with the hype, thinking like, oh, maybe it could be a new Primarch. I don't think we're going to see a new Primarch.
do you think we're not going to see one at all, or do you think it'll just be like maybe a year's time, or think
Well,
because it seems like they've gone quite character heavy at the minute.
hmm, I
So yeah,
I suppose you got to think about. Do you know what? Actually, let me rephrase that. I think you might see a Primarch, but it won't be a loyalist Primarch.
okay,
So you could see Perturabo.
mm,
That would make a lot of sense, right?
yeah,
And I know they're gonna. There was something about they're doing sculpts for Heresy, Primarchs for the Heresy. That's fine because you can already get all the Primarchs in Heresy anyway.
yeah.
Um, but I think you might get Perturabo for 40K for the Iron Warriors.
Well, because that makes sense because that's what came out with the new Defiler, wasn't it? That
Yeah,
he's back making new bits and pieces.
yeah.
So
So and he's in. I think he's in some of the new Black Library books.
oh, okay,
So I think there's a whole thing there, and that makes a lot of sense. And the reason why it wouldn't be a loyalist is because if you actually look back, you go back to Gilliman. Gilliman only came back in seventh, I want to say. Maybe it was eighth.
right,
Whichever one was the Plague Wars. That's when Gilliman came back. Then it took, I think it would have been 2 editions before the Lion returned.
yeah,
So they don't, even though it feels like there's lots more Primarchs knocking around, they they don't do it consecutive editions,
no,
with the exception of the traitor Primarchs, where they just bash them out. They're like, yeah, I suppose because there's less lore issues, if that makes sense. Like we know the Chaos Primarchs are still knocking around.
yeah,
So it's like, yeah, fine. There's no mystery as to where they've been.
mm,
Like the Lion, they had to do all sorts of lore stuff to be like he's woken up, like he was asleep all along. Like
yeah,
so, that's that's the bit where they make it harder from a loyalist point of view because they've actually got to write the lore to explain where they've been.
yeah, yeah,
Gilliman was fairly easy, like he was in forever stasis until the Eldari came along and helped like put him in some armor that keeps him alive. Um, and then obviously the Lion, they were like, well, okay, everyone knows he's actually on the rock.
yeah, yeah.
He's just asleep, so we'll wake him up.
Mm,
So that kind of stuff. That everyone else from a loyalist point of view, it's all a bit, nothing is confirmed.
mm,
So that's why it's probably a bit harder for them to just go and we'll give you another loyalist. Whereas we know with the traitor side, we know Perturabo's around and doing stuff. So they've got, it's really more of a question: is do they bring him back or do they bring Lorgar back?
yeah. I think well, Peraro makes more sense at the minute because
Yeah,
of what we've seen. So unless the preview we get is just a lot of chanting and some books being turned, I think yeah he might be a bit further off. Then it's quite funny because obviously the video that came out the other day was obviously very bikey,
Yes.
and there's a lot of orc bikes and stuff, and they've gone
Yep.
blood angels. So it would be quite funny if just out of complete left field, some white scars rocks up. Because when you think bikes, no, more likely to think of white scars than anybody else.
I think with Marines, certainly from that point of view, I think yeah, you're thinking white scars and maybe um what's it called? Dark Angels. Um One of their wings is all about
Yes,
bikes.
yeah,
They'll be the two that you'd think from a loyalist point of view. Then after that, I think you do think orcs,
oh
not
yeah,
necessarily bikes, but like trikes and all war bikers, all of that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
and that's fine. And that seems to be what they're leaning into with the orc side of it. Does that make sense? It's like if you was gonna have, if we're gonna have like bikey wars, you, I'm surprised there's not a bit more white scar going on, but they're obviously not around. They're very far away.
Yeah,
So
not an Armageddon.
yeah, so it's just be interesting if it was a very sudden reinforcement to our white scars and the Khan.
Yeah, the
I
Khan
don't
would be that would be a strange one, but you never
yeah,
know. You never
no.
know. Um, all right, so that's the preview that we've got
Mm-hmm.
coming up. So we'll see how wrong or right, likely wrong we are as well
Oh,
as everyone
massively.
else is. Yeah, 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 yeah.
I ain't got a clue.
The second we started talking about it, we were wrong. But in other previews, we've obviously got a game coming up on Thursday,
Yes, we do.
and we were just about before we got sidetracked by Orcs and other previews. You were going to go into what you're potentially looking at for that game on Thursday.
Mm,
So let's talk previews. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Poxwalkers. I'm
Are you
thinking
gonna get
Shamrock.
you're gonna go back for the big Poxwalker list?
Yeah, because I mean, I've got what am I looking at over there? 20 something unpainted, but I have now got 100 Poxwalkers.
Yeah, and you
So,
need
well,
what do you need for that for the detachment? Because you get is it you get free an additional 30 for free, right?
yeah, basically, yeah. So initial three blobs of 10 for nothing. They turn up in round two, round three, and round four, and then they can just come into your reserves. And they're just handy at stealing objectives at the end and popping into behind enemy lines and stuff like that. But there's also like, a few shenanigans you can run with it. So you can run them with uh, different characters you can't normally run them with.
Yes, of course. Yeah, I remember that because you can run max size is 20 still, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
So you could run three blobs of 20, right? Or you
But
could
because they become battle line.
they become battle line. You could run six blobs of 20.
If I had it, if I had it, I could run six blobs of 20 and then have another 30 sat there. Um, so I'm toying with the idea of that, which is probably what you're going to get if I'm honest. I'm thinking about putting Morty back in the list for a little bit because
Yeah,
he's been collecting dust on the
but
sidelines.
it's been a while since Maltese been in.
Yeah, and just trying different things. Taking the plague marines. I like plague marines, but they're expensive and
Mm.
they're squishier than you want them to be. Although there's toughness, like that's just me complaining because I've lost 6 games in a row. So everyone else's plague marines are probably solid, but mine are. I think I've been playing 5 solid years of Death Guard. I think everyone's just getting a bit tired, so no one's performing anymore. Um,
Well, and a lot of the people you play, like everyone's. I think when your faction is one of the top, I say top performing.
yeah,
I balance that with Death Guard because they're not as big and bad as they were at some points during the edition,
yeah,
but
yeah.
they've always been pretty good, right?
Oh
They're
yeah,
they're pretty good. Like the rules are pretty good, and they've managed to maintain those. So it's I think everyone has got good at playing against them because they see them so much.
yeah.
So like any tournament you go to, there will always be a couple of Death Guard players,
Oh,
always,
definitely, yeah,
because just the rules are good. So you're going to get it, and I think that means other players now like know how to play them because they will always play them consistently. Necrons is the same right now. And it won't be too long. Like you give it or it'll either be they're totally nerfed by the change of edition, or people just get really used to dealing with them, and that's it. Like it's fine. You know your way around playing them again.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, once you've played the army enough, right, you do get to a point where you're like, there's only so much stuff you can do with it.
Yeah, yeah.
And like there's very few, because we obviously play each other regularly. I feel like I'm quite comfortable playing Death Guard at the minute. Not as in comfortable. It's always an uncomfortable experience, but I'm comfortable in that I know the rules for
Yeah.
your army very
Yeah.
well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. That's it. There's not a lot of surprises really. And I think it's sort of my own fault for just sticking with the same. Like I said a couple of times now, always sticking with the same detachment. So I've not. I feel like I've been playing it on easy mode, and it's like actually no. Let's try and do it and use the other detachments properly.
yeah,
It's too late now because when they all first come out, they were all pretty strong
yeah,
to some degree, and now some of them are still getting played and some of them aren't. I
yeah,
just didn't take advantage of rolling through them and getting used to it all at the time because it's like, well, I wanted sticky objectives because that's less to think about. So it's fine. So yeah, I mean, and I really thought by now I'd pick up a final ingredient by chance, and it just hasn't happened. So
yeah.
all that, it's like Year of the Wolf, isn't it? We talk about these things, but they don't have to happen really. No one's holding us to
No,
account.
no, indeed,
so,
indeed.
so yeah,
Okay.
I'm feeling zombies. I'll try. I don't know if I'll get any of them paint. I haven't done any painting. Do you know what? I've got 5 because I bought all that Death Guard stuff.
I do, yeah. Remember
Yes.
hearing that. Yeah.
I've been painting because I bought the Plague Marine Heroes again before I bought all that stuff.
Yes.
I painted the Playcaster up, brilliant. But I've been slowly painting the 5 Plague Marines, and while I've been doing it, I'm like, I fucking hate painting assembled models. I
Yes,
can't
I remember
stand
you
like
saying, yeah.
it's awful. Like I don't enjoy it. I find it so because they're so intricate and they're really well made, like designed. But you just can't. I just cannot get to that detail. Like even with a thin brush, like you can't do it. I don't enjoy it. Like I like painting it, putting it together, and tidying up. And I was just looking. I had 15 Plague Marines sat there built. So they're all gone now. They've all been eBayed. They're gone.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
You're just
I
like,
was looking at them. I'm like, because I don't like the poxwalkers are built. They're fine. They're not that intricate. There's only like a couple holding weapons, so it's only a little bit of fiddling. The
yeah,
blind hauler's fine. The drone is a bit fiddly, but it's fine. So I'll spray them. I'll paint them. But I was looking at them Plague Marines, and I thought, I'm not. It's not going to happen. I don't want to do it. I'm going to get these bits done, and then I'm going to turn my attention to the Green Tide.
yeah. It was funny. I used to paint in sub assemblies, like
Yeah,
for a lot of things. But what I found, the trouble I always found with it is it just meant that, like, if you're playing a friendly game and you actually want to use some of the models before they're painted,
yeah,
like Dave's lists are good examples, right? You got like some squads that you put together, and like my Thousand Suns, for a year there was always just some blue plastic,
yeah.
because it takes so long to paint Thousand Suns. Um, so they were all assembled, and it's just like, oh, and even now, like in like the cupboard behind me, I've got so many assembled models that are
Yeah.
primed, and I'm just like,
I know.
can't bring myself to paint it. It's like I've had 5, well, I can't even think what they're called, infiltrators,
Yeah.
the ones like Space Marines, sitting on my desk in front of me that have just got a little bit of gold detailing on them,
Mm.
and that's it. And they're just sitting there looking at me like, when are you going to paint us? Like,
Like,
sorry, guys, I know it's year of the wolf, but not yet.
yeah, back of the line.
Yeah,
This is the thing. Is like, I don't mind. Like if it's a model I really, like the Playcast, it's fine. I needed it. You're not going to get it for a reasonable price. And these guys they're nearly done, but I'm just like, All I keep doing is I'll paint a little bit. I'm like, right, play some combat cards, paint a little bit,
Yeah.
play some combat cards,
So
and
we'll
that has
come back.
been my hobby. This week has been pure combat cards.
We'll come back to combat cards in a minute. We'll
Yeah.
come back to that. What might you find that you're up against? I think I may go Thousand Suns again because, as
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
I feel like Necron is a little bit oppressive at the minute. Um, any of the detachments, they're all really good.
yeah,
And so even though I like playing them because they're really good, I don't know. I feel they're almost too good, a bit too unbalanced. And because of that, because I've got more than one faction, I can go in and out of it. So I played Necrons consistently for what was it, 4 or 5 games.
yeah.
Played the Thousand Sunless, the Rubric I Phalanx last time out. Went well,
Hmm.
primarily because I didn't have Magnus.
Yeah.
But I did write a list that did include Magnus.
Hmm.
Not in the Phalanx, in the Grand Coven, to the
Yes.
traditional Thousand Suns one. So I think that's what you'll come up against.
Okay.
It does mean I was just trying to include Magnus means the list loses so much, I don't know, like function and mobility.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But
Mm.
I think any list with Magnus is you go into much more of a 50-50 land
Yeah.
because he's either he goes off and it's incredible,
Hmm.
or he doesn't, he dies, and then there's such a big hole in your army that there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do.
Maybe we'll have a Primarch off them. It's been a
Yeah,
while.
I think yeah, exactly, and that might be quite nice in
Mm.
itself.
Because this is the thing, where, like you put the list together, and the list that I played today at one point had multi in it, and you're like,
Mm.
it's just not enough here. And like knowing that I'm probably going to get wave of orcs, and it's like, I'll just take him out. And then that was like another squad of plague marines went back in, and I think I put in an extra drone and a blight hauler. But if I play the zombie list, that's not really a big problem because I'm going to get 3 squads for free.
Yeah, plus your poxwalkers are not expensive either, are they? So
No, not
you
at
know
all.
you get like you can get loads of squads,
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
it
And
doesn't
deep
doesn't matter
strike
as
in
much.
boxwalkers as well.
Of course, because they get deep strike, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, for a strat, yeah. So that's pretty cool. So yeah, maybe we'll have a Primarch off, a zombie Dust Boy Primarch off.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Cool.
Sounds good. We'll see how it goes. So
Yeah,
that's our preview for Thursday. Obviously,
yeah,
we'll let everyone know on Sunday how that went, alongside the preview at Adepticon.
yeah.
Um, last point then is, as you mentioned quite rightly, combat cards.
Oh yeah,
Now, for those that long-time listeners that remember back in the day, we obviously have an Iron and Ceramite clan on combat cards. The mobile game based on the top trumps, effectively top trumps that
yeah,
Games Workshop released like back in the 90s, back when I was even before then, it was because a lot of the images on the cards back then were Rogue Trader models, and they were just a deck of top trumps,
yeah.
because I had them for a period of time. I don't know where they've gone. Um, but really good fun. And then they've obviously made this digital version now that's been knocking around for the past 5 years. And myself and Glenn, very, not slavish, but very, very high end power users, as it were, of the app. And everyone came in for a bit and then dropped off again. But John, you've come back in now,
Yeah,
back in hard.
yeah, I have. And yeah, I come back because it resets every month, doesn't it? So I
It
think
does.
I came in last round, whatever they call it. And I had some. I got to the dungeons, like the final thing, and I got stuck because I was only using the 4. So I
Yep.
used lessons learned from you and Glenn. And I have been running 6. However, I've got to a point now where I'm just like my town stalled out, and I don't know if it happens to you because I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
doing. you creep it round and climb up that way. So I haven't been going down points. But then my Tau, I couldn't win a game. So they're 200 points behind.
Yeah.
I started struggling with Leagues of Votan, but today I really sat there and forced them back to the top because I
Right.
was just on a massive thing. But yeah, I'm not quite at 6,000 points yet, but I am winning the league out of the three of us.
You are top of the league, and you've gone out the gate like really, really quite quick because there's
Yeah,
still what was it? I was looking at it the other day and I was like, I can't believe we're this. Yeah, there's still 21 days to go in
yeah.
this season. So still relatively early days. And
Hmm.
it's like, as you said, you're at what is it, nearly 5,000, nearly 5,700.
Yeah,
I'm just behind you on 4,900. I say just behind, like 700 points behind.
yeah.
But at this stage of the season, we're never normally this high. It's purely you've set the pace running, and I'm
Yeah.
like, but I'm like, there's a long way to go,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's very easy to burn out.
Well, because what I thought, if I can, the quicker I can get to the 6,000 and just be at the top, because I've already obviously maxed out all the prizes pretty much. So I
Yeah,
just need to get to the cells.
yeah,
And then I thought, if I sit there, then because the campaigns is where you can unlock new stuff and get extra cards and stuff.
yeah. Doing the missions,
But
yeah,
that's a
and
distraction. So
it
once I
is,
get to the dark cells, then I can get a load more cards and keep on top of you two. I haven't got to worry about it. It's all
yeah.
strategic.
I
I'm just
see.
gonna have to monitor you, but you've shot right up
Well,
from where
so
you were.
I play in my like you can tell when I can play because it tends to be that I'll tick along during the week because
Mm,
I'll only play in like the morning and the evening when I'm
yeah,
going to and from work. So don't really have time for the rest of it. And then at the weekends I'll be able to pile in a good couple of hour sessions.
yeah,
That's what helps jump me up. And then what I do is because I do the like there's in the daily rewards section there's always objectives.
yes,
So like things like upgrade your cards and stuff like that. When
yeah,
I get ones where I've got the win free battles using a certain warlord,
yeah,
if it's a warlord where I know I'll be able to put together a pretty good deck, I will just do those three
yeah,
off rip. So just do them consecutively, and that really then bumps your score up.
yeah,
It is a risk because if you do that and you lose, you then drop points.
yeah,
But that's pretty much the time that I'll only ever do it. The only other time that I will then start playing with any of my factions that are scoring points where I could potentially lose them is when you get down to like the last couple of days, because that's when because the higher you go, the higher level of people you're playing against,
yeah,
and they're because it's obviously trying to balance it and stuff like that. And it then also because when you're in the dark cells, you've also got a whoever you're playing against has positive modifiers against you.
yeah,
So it makes everything really much harder, but therefore the points you get can be much bigger.
mm.
And so that's what I'll do at the end of the season. But at the moment, all my factions, no one's dropped off yet. It's funny, I never ever play Tyrannid or Leagues of Votan. They're the two that I just don't touch.
Well, I tell you what, the guy that I'm playing leagues with, what's he called? He is called standby. Ufar the Destined, and do you know what? Their ability is actually really good. So, because what you need to do is run a full deck and have a couple of low cards in there, because when something kills you, it gets a judgment token.
Yeah,
So when you fight it, anytime you attack it going forward, you do basically you rack up damage back.
yeah,
So say like you kill me, you're going to get 25% extra damage.
yeah,
I think that goes up to maybe 50, maybe 75. I can't remember what the total is. So it's really handy when some horrible thing like Fulgrim pops out or Mortarion, kills three really weak cards, because anything that goes into it is doing more damage than it should.
Oh,
If you've
okay.
got a couple of those cards that
Mhm.
do the missiles where splash damage,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
splash damage that's normally 10 or 12 could turn into about 50, 60. So I
Okay.
really rate him. And I was doing really well with it, and now it's back at the top. But for some reason, yesterday I just tanked like 6 games.
Sometimes
Um,
it's who you're matched against, right? It can
yeah,
it
yeah,
can
there's a
it can
couple,
it can
and
dramatically
I've
change.
been used because Gaskell's got 2 cards.
Yes. So there's for that are yeah. So there's two different. Some leaders, as they are,
Mm,
like will have two cards because they'll have their normal one,
yeah,
standard one, and then they have one called a Supreme Commander version,
yes,
and it's on the keyword at the bottom of the card because sometimes in the missions it says, win 3 battles with Gazgul, and then other
yeah,
times it'll be like win 3 battles with Supreme Commander Gazgul.
yeah. So,
And yeah, I don't know, like because there's what one is it that I think because it's with Chaos, you've got Abaddon, and then
mhm.
you've got Supreme Commander Abaddon,
Oh, okay.
and I actually think the regular Abaddon is better.
Oh, really? I don't think
Yeah,
I've got either Abaddon yet.
yeah, I mean, yeah, like
But because this is the only reason I noticed is because I've got a really good Supreme Gazgul list that I was winning with.
yeah,
And then obviously you flick around, and I lost like 3 Orc games in a row. And I'm like, what the hell? I was untouchable. I went, oh,
yeah,
this is a completely different card with a different list. But that Gazgul one, they just you put stuff down, and they damages the highest, the thing with the most wounds gets attacked for 10%
yes,
of what you've got, and that's really effective, especially when Gazgul's got the melee attack as well.
yeah.
I like the Tau Commander. I'm using the Dark Strider because
Is
you
that
get
the
to
one?
shoot
That's
stuff.
the one where you move and you move them along.
Yeah,
They fire their shots. Yeah, that is a very good one.
and if you forget, because sometimes like when you're just like grinding through, and sometimes my mind slips and I forget what one I've used, so I forget to move stuff over, and I'm like, I could have killed that, and then it
Yeah.
smashes me. I'm like, no, I'm gonna have to play 3 more games now to get these back. Uh, yeah, it's a good game. It's a shame they're not paying us. We talk about it now.
I was going to say, yeah, we'll have to put some sort of affiliate link in there at
Yeah,
some point. But yes, all I would say is it's every season is a very long season.
yeah.
So, we'll see how we go as we get further. What I haven't what hasn't happened yet this season, in a lot of seasons actually, like when we first started playing it, I would
Mm.
randomly get paired against Glenn's lists.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. So there were a couple of times where I was like, "Oh, I'm playing Zeo Bean as his
Mm.
name is," and I was like, "Oh, that's quite cool." Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose. So I am looking out to see whether I'm ever coming across yourself when
Yeah.
we're doing it.
Okay, that's interesting.
But I think at the moment we probably wouldn't clash because the points difference.
Right. Okay.
You have to be quite there. If there's a period where you're relatively close in points, there's more chance that you'll get paired.
Right. Okay. So maybe I'll look out for you at the Dark Cells then.
That's it.
That's
Yeah,
where
yeah, yeah.
that's where I'm going.
Well, like that, we're not far, like, because I'm on Terror at the moment.
Hmm.
So where do we go? Then it's oh yeah, so Terror at the moment. So you'll be where are you?
I'm just about 300 points shy of the
You're
Dark
in
Cells.
sector whatever it is, the Imperial Palace, right?
Yeah. Sector 2.
And then I know this is very because that's where is it? So in the dark cells, oh, that's it. So it's the dark cells you get the modifiers.
Mm.
So once you're in the dark cells, the enemy gets plus 10% to their attack and wounds.
Yeah.
So that's why it becomes really, really tough.
Yeah. Well, I was just looking at the prizes. I'm after that title, season 81 winner.
That's a big ask. That's the one you really want to get. That's the
Yeah,
big,
yeah.
but we'll see.
and then never play again.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, once you're only as good as your last game, and if your
Yeah,
last game you won, then that's what counts.
yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, on that
Yeah.
combat cards tangent, I think
Oh,
we can call it an evening until next Sunday when
we'll have
yeah,
loads to talk about.
yeah, we'll have everything from Adepticon and everything from what sounds like is going to be a big Primark dust up.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Cool. I'll look forward to it then.
All right, good stuff. Thank you everyone for joining the stream.
See you next week.
Okay, we're out.
Nice.
Very good.